Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Sparkin over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I'm your host, Gage Madrid. The 2022 draft is quickly approaching Broncos country. As the free agency period has begun to die down, teams are diving headfirst into draft prospects, figuring out who best fits what they are trying to do. Of course, the Denver Broncos are no exception. The Broncos front office, led by their scouting department as well as general manager George Paton and his camp, are hard at work trying to figure out which positions of need the team would like to fill with their 8 picks in the 2022 NFL Draft. Of course, as we saw in last year's draft, George Paton is not afraid to make draft day trades to either move up or move back. Even if we stay put at our first pick in the draft at pick 64, I still feel very confident that we will be able to bring in a top-end talent. Earlier in the week, it was announced that the Broncos were bringing in 2 offensive tackles for pre-draft visits in Washington State's Abraham Lucas and Tulsa's Tyler Smith. Despite the team bringing back Billy Turner, who figures to be our starting right tackle next season, it still appears that the Broncos are heavily invested in finding a long-term solution at the right tackle position. Also, there are still some questions about Garrett Bull's long-term future in the Mile High City, as his contract is fairly easy to get out of in 2023. So it's pretty clear why the Broncos are doing their due diligence at offensive tackle. Today, we will discuss Abraham Lucas and how I feel he could potentially fit in this Denver Broncos offense. Stay tuned, as tomorrow we will be dropping a video discussing Tyler Smith in depth as well. But before we get into that, be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss another video. We are truly building something here at Sparkin over Broncos, and it wouldn't be possible without the best fan base in the entirety of sports. So thank you so much, Broncos country. Jumping into Abraham Lucas, he enters the NFL draft as a redshirt senior out of Washington State University, where he was a 4-year starter at right tackle for the Cougars. He certainly has the size to work as an NFL tackle, clocking in at 6'7" and 316 pounds at the combine. Lucas's best season at Washington State came in 2019, according to Pro Football Focus, where they graded him the 19th best tackle in college with a mark of 84.5 overall. Washington State's 2020 season was shortened, of course, due to the pandemic, but Lucas did start all 4 of their games at right tackle. Lucas opted to return to college in 2021 for his redshirt senior season, where he started all 12 games at right tackle for the Cougars. Lucas certainly makes most of his hay in pass protection, as Pro Football Focus had him ranked the 5th best pass protecting tackle in college last season. He has an overall decent anchor and solid footwork, which work to his benefit greatly in pass pro. His hand technique can use some work, however, as you will sometimes see his punch or lack thereof fail him. He will get grabby sometimes, but he overall does have a high football IQ, and he is usually able to anticipate how rushers are going to attack him. Although he is pretty rock solid in pass protection, the same cannot be said for him in the run game. Sometimes his lack of strength will show up, and you will see him get overpowered in run blocking. He can be inconsistent at times with second-level blocks, which are going to be asked of him quite a bit in this scheme. He received a 68.3 Pro Football Focus run blocking grade in 2021, which was a fairly poor 169th ranking out of 560 eligible tackles, considering these are college tackles we are talking about here. At this point in time, I definitely would not be comfortable with Abraham Lucas as my day 1 starting right tackle. However, I do feel that he would be a very solid developmental piece. He would be able to sit on the bench for a year behind a veteran such as Billy Turner in Denver, and hopefully be able to refine his craft to a point where he would be a starting caliber player in year 2. I feel that Lucas could start if needed in his rookie season, but he would likely be better off sitting for a year on the bench rather than being exposed too early when he isn't ready. This is why I feel that Lucas could make some sense in Denver. He definitely needs some polishing, and in Denver, he wouldn't be pressed into action right away. We have Billy Turner under a 1-year contract, so ideally, Turner would be your starter in 2022 while Lucas develops, and then Lucas would be in line to take over the right tackle role in 2023. I've seen pretty universal third-ish round grades on Lucas. The Broncos currently have 2 picks in the 3rd round with number 75 and number 96 overall. While I don't really see Lucas sliding to pick 96, he could be in striking distance around pick 75. The Broncos would then be faced with a choice. How would George Paton and Nathaniel Hackett feel about using a top 100 pick on a player who isn't likely to contribute much in his rookie season? On one side of things, you consider the Broncos' question marks at both tackle positions long term, and the fact that the Broncos literally haven't drafted an offensive tackle since 2017 when they used their 1st round pick on Garrett Bowles. We are really going to need to find long-term solutions at offensive tackle, and Lucas could potentially be a part of those solutions. On the other side of things, the Broncos are clearly in win-now mode, and the team may want to use their top 100 picks strictly on players who are going to be early contributors. The team may be of the opinion that we have more dire needs than a developmental tackle, and may have other ideas for our 3 top 100 picks. It's a very interesting conversation, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, Broncos Country. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss another video. Also, give me a follow on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for more coverage of our Denver Broncos, as well as the NFL in general. And for now, this has been another episode of Sparkin Over Broncos, the show where we spark conversation about our Denver Broncos. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.